Do that again. I like that road. I wrote this while pondering the meaning of life. BAND-MAID, 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 BAND-MAID. All right. Here we go. Forbidden Tale. Ooh, and we're thinking. Pretty. Weird. There's a lot happening. Oh my goodness. I can hear Misa. I can hear Misa really well. Ooh, I like that. Do that again. I like that road. Kanami is doing so much. Change genre. Chromatic off the clip, I love it. Kanami is doing, there's so much, but it's like at the back of what I can hear. Oh, are we done? Oh my God. Oh, this is brilliant. Oh my God. Oh! This is such good stuff. That bounce. This is unbelievable songwriting. That was so cool. And now we're back. Oh my God. Oh my God. Hits? It's very pretty. The song's not over, and I cannot wait to listen to it again. Oh. So before I get into my thoughts on Forbidden Tale. I found this write-up on JROCKnews.com, and it is BAND-MAID reflecting on the writing process song by song. So I scrolled right down to this song, Forbidden Tale, to which Kanami says, and I felt like she did so much heavy lifting on this song without maybe making it seem super obvious, and I'll get into that in a second. But Kanami on Forbidden Tale says, I wrote this while pondering the meaning of life, what it means to truly live. I set out to express life through music. Embedded within the themes is the message that life has its ups and downs. I was told I should compose a very progressive piece with lots of scenes unfolding, and I think I accomplished this here. I would agree with that. This song goes in so many weird, from the first time you hear it, a lot of the choices that BAND-MAID makes in this song were very odd, and I like that. And I thought that was cool. Making maybe an unconventional direction in a song that should have conventional steps, or at least you think it is going to have conventional steps. They fooled me a lot during this. And just to finish that first point, Miku and Saiki weigh in with, what does it mean to live? What is the meaning of life? How do we express life through music? We felt tasked with capturing a colossal message. Even though we live only in this time and place, others could carry on our legacy long after our bodies perish. Our music will likely live much longer than us, and so we wanted to leave behind our words and songs for future generations. We wonder if music has the power to connect us to people we never meet in our lifetime. The answer to that is unequivocally yes. On paper, I should really have nothing in common with any member of BAND-MAID. We're from opposite ends of the world, had totally different upbringings. We don't speak the same language. We don't have the same fashion sense. In the binding, uniting, limitless power that draws me to them is the music. And if that's what they were going for in this song, Forbidden Tale, they accomplished it. I will be totally transparent. When it started, I was like, I've heard this before. It reminded me, not the very beginning part, the singing was nice and everything. And then it gets like heavy, which might be the downs of the up and downs that Kanami was talking about trying to capture through music. I thought that changed pretty quick. I thought I had heard something similar to this in another BAND-MAID song, and I'm not that far off. If you go and you listen to Protect You, there are bits and pieces in the chorus of Protect You that lined up with what was happening in Forbidden Tale. At least I thought. Then you had that wonderful, I think Saiki sang a G, which means, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Miku and the harmony, creating a very beautiful vocal chord, vocal harmony, I should say. That was very jarring from how kind of rugged and heavy that beginning part was. Really, really broke through and told me right away, no, this is not just, a different version of Protect You. We're doing something different here, so just sit tight and listen. Oh, yeah. Then that main E riff, that was really cool. I like that a lot. Not breaking the mold on things that are fun in rock music. I just like how they will repurpose stuff to suit their needs in music, because it's not stylistically what people really write anymore. What was also kind of cool about it was the guitar parts are leading it, and you would think that the bass would follow the same trajectory as what the guitar is doing, and Misa's kind of off doing her own thing and then meets up at the very end. It's and I'll probably talk a little bit more about it, but all 5 members of this band bring like really unique and interesting musicianship to these songs. And I've pondered this endlessly. Like, what are the aspects of BAND-MAID that make BAND-MAID BAND-MAID? BAND-MAID. And I don't really think there's like a great or even like right answer, because I think there's so many things that can make BAND-MAID sound like BAND-MAID. One of those things is really how seamlessly it seems that Misa and Kanami link up on this stuff. When you have 2 very creative, imaginative guitar and bass players, you can really do wonderful things in rock music. This little bit between the end of the first chorus, I don't really know what to call it, and the verse after it, that's what I'm talking about. It's not just I'll play this to support the low end of what you're playing. It's I'm going to play something different, but it's all going to match together because we end up linking up at the end. And then even when you get into that second verse, I think the focal point is the singing. But then if you listen, and this is what makes BAND-MAID so much fun, is you go back and you hear stuff, at least I hear stuff, that I was like, oh, I missed that the first time through. But I didn't miss these. Oh, God, I got to see if I can isolate them. All right, I found what I was talking about, I think. I think I have a better understanding of why this song sounds the way that it does, with the knowledge that Kanami was trying to write something that, again, in her words, trying to express life through music and trying to capture the ups and downs. This sequence, I think, did a really good job of doing that. And I liked it for one reason, but another, now that I understand the context in which the song is being written. In the second portion, I could hear almost like in the backs of my ears, the back of my ears, Kanami playing, I think they're 16th notes. So you're basically just taking a beat and dividing it and dividing it and dividing it. There's this cool trem picking. That very short sequence was just jumped off the page. I think it's another great example of how well Kanami and Misa sync up on this song. It flows to the first part. The picking does, I mean. And as it gets into the second part, it almost becomes kind of stagnant and it like breaks up a little bit. And I don't know if that was an intentional part, but if you look at it through the prism of they're trying to capture the ups and downs of life, I think this is a really neat way of doing it, where things start very smooth and then all of a sudden things get disjointed, and that's exactly what this sounds like. Listen. Smooth. And then it breaks up a bit. I have grown to become such a big fan of how Kanami writes this music. It's like she's an excellent guitar player, but where I think she is criminally underrated is a composer. I am always just gobsmacked at some of the stuff that this band puts out, and I think she's a real driving force in how the music comes together, the parts that are in it, as well as some of the production stuff that you might not necessarily get in like a live performance, but when you're listening to the studio version, there's some really neat little triggers and sound effects that I would credit to her, because I know it's stuff that she has done in music in the past and trying to figure out things that fit and things that don't fit. On this song, Forbidden Tale, she's doing a lot of heavy lifting, but it's not obvious. And this is why I think she is, again, criminally underrated as a composer. Because the mechanics, the technique of what is being played is not complicated. It sounds complicated, but what she's actually playing, it's like your like pentatonic scale. It's like box shapes. It's all geographically very easy to find if you're playing a string instrument. But how do you take something simple and make it seem complicated? That's what she does very well in this song. Her stuff isn't like bah right in your face. It comes off as a vocally driven song, which when you have great singers in Psyche and Miku, that's what you want to do. But if you really step back from that and focus on the bits underneath it, that's where I really start to hear like what Kanami is doing, and I find it just so compelling. That's just one example, which flows into this like swing jazz thing. Again, galaxy brain writing stuff. As someone that likes to play music but isn't as great at it as they are, that's the kind of direction in songwriting that really just blows my mind. So you have this chugging heavy rock style, and then to seamlessly, and that's the key part, it's seamless, just fall into this swing jazz thing for a couple of beats and then come right out of it with a really cool crescendo off a cliff that it's a trope in music I love. They end on the harmony, and I thought the song was over. And then they get back into this build. And it's building. And it's building. What I did not know the first time I heard this, and now understand it, having gone and now listened to this a couple of times. The part that is being sung in the beginning is exactly the same as what's being sung in this crescendo build. Wow. It's so clever, and I think it's so smart in the way that they go about doing it. It felt powerful. I try to get a grip when I'm listening to these songs, but I could feel a little something welling up right here as this very strong build is happening. Yeah, that it hit me in a way that I was not expecting, but it was just so nice. Maybe if you speak the language, you would get it. I didn't get it the first time. I'm a little annoyed I didn't get it the first time, but I was really caught up in how this was building. Just listening and trying to focus on like what Misa's playing. And this will sound odd, but it's just sort of how I perceive it in my head. And I don't know. This might be an experience that some people have never had to deal with, just depending on like where you grew up or where you live. But trying to, like, for me, trying to mentally focus on what Misa is playing is like trying to drive through a snowstorm. When you're driving, you have to focus on what is in front of you. Everything you're trying to focus on has to be right in front of you. And I feel like when I'm listening to Misa, I get like, oh my God, where is she going? It's like, yeah, trying to follow someone through a snowstorm is probably a better way to say that. Because the journey could be beautiful, but I get so stressed out trying to focus on what she's playing. One of the many reasons I just adore Misa as a bass player is her imagination. So when you listen to that, very chunky driving riff that I think is in E with the octave, she's not following that until the very end. She's doing her own thing. a lot of people just want their bass player to just kind of maintain, again, capture that low end of what they're doing. Don't stand out. Don't do anything remarkable. That's not Misa. This is a song, and her part in this song just cements like all the things that I feel about her when I listen to how she approaches music. I just think it's so cool. And as somebody that aspires to be a bass player, and I always say if I could be as a 10th talented as she is, I would feel some accomplishment in my life. You know, this does feel doable, but again, going back to my driving through a snowstorm analogy, trying to focus on what she's playing can be very challenging because it's not straightforward. She's great. All 5 of them are great. And they bring different things to the song, but to, again, put a bow on it, nothing is wildly overpowering outside of the vocals. The vocals are very strong here. And I think that's by design. Everything underneath it is strong. It's interesting. It's not like technically mind-blowing, though, and I think that's a cool way to approach it. There's not even a hint of a guitar solo. If you need more proof of what I'm saying, like most rock songs will eventually have some little shreddy, licky, whatever. Not here. Not needed. Not for the main idea of what this is supposed to be. I look forward to listening to this 100 more times and finding new things that I like about it, because I am going to go try and drive through a snowstorm and see how much of this I can put together. So hopefully this won't take me too long, and I will be back here momentarily. play. Oh my god. Oh my. Oh. Mute a string. Mute one string. Oh my. Oh. That's not it. That's not right. That's not even how you play the thing. I need to know. I'm ready to know how to play the song right. I am gonna explode. Bah! Ah! This is the take. This is the take right here. I got this. You made it to this point of the video. Thank you for watching up until now. What's more impressive is I have made it to this point of the video too, because the last couple weeks have been very, very busy for me. I went from the last 2 months having no real meaningful employment to finally getting hired at a place, ironically, that was my old employer's main competition. I generally don't like to go so long without posting something. It's just the circumstances being what they were and how busy I've been the last couple weeks. It wasn't possible. I did record a couple covers though that I thought were fine. YouTube disagreed with me. I was not able to put them up for fear of outright copyright strike. I don't want to sit and trash bands or anything, but I'll give you 4 guesses as to who has a problem with my covers. Oh well. I knew I forgot something. In between me recording my reaction for Forbidden Tale and now, something really cool happened in the music world. And I wanted to point it out because I think at one point in my reaction, and I've said this about Kanami, I'm sure, I feel like, along with being like an underrated guitar player, I think she is a wildly underrated composer in rock music. And my whole thing about, if something's overrated versus underrated, you have to tell me how you rate this thing first, and then we can figure out if it's overrated or underrated. That's unimportant. What is important, Kanami is getting some recognition that I would be remiss if I did not point out, because I just loved how it lined up with some things I had been saying about her weeks before this news broke. Kanami is a PRS artist. Over, I think it was last week. I think the show was earlier, but the news came out a couple of days ago. The PRS, that would be Paul Reed Smith, surprised Kanami on stage at one of their shows and hand-delivered the Kanami signature PRS guitar. When the founder of anything significant takes time out of their day to hand-deliver something to a person, it means a lot. This guitar, by the way, is gorgeous. It's like a smoke green finish with an ebony neck. There are birds on the neck, and I don't know if I've ever gotten into this, but like everybody uses birds on the neck of their guitar, and I think it's so overdone. But these are different birds. These birds look really, really cool. I don't know where I'm going to put this. It's somewhere in the outro, so here. I'm going to put it here. Now back to whatever it was I was saying. I would like to thank BAND-MAID. I would like to thank Misa for continuing to inspire me to be a better musician. JROCK News for that write-up on Forbidden Tale and the other songs off of Epic Narratives. That's the name of the album. It's out now. Go get it. Mikoto over at the BAND-MAID Discord for assisting me in the learning process of Forbidden Tale. BAND-MAID has a Discord full of very, very passionate maniacs. If you're a BAND-MAID fan and you're not on that Discord, you should be on that Discord. If you would like to follow along with me, you can follow me on my neglected Twitter and Instagram pages. And if you would like to keep me in Iced Coffee, the Iced Coffee Fund is still up and running. And I know I joke about that, but some of you did donate, and that was incredible. I put a lot of time, probably too much time, into these reaction videos. It's how I like to do them. I know it's very atypical for this reaction format, but it's just always how I've liked to do things. In an ideal world, I'm putting all of that back into this channel and getting a real microphone and a real camera and an actual like space, a real space to do these in and have more fun with these videos. And that time will come. That's still a goal for me. Now that I'm on the other side of the weird 2 months that I've been living, it starts to feel more obtainable and attainable, one of those. I can do it. You are not at all obligated to do that. Your time is so valuable, and the fact that you would spend any amount of time with me and my rantings on this channel really does mean a lot to me. So remember, you are not obligated to do any of that. However, you are obligated to have fun, enjoy music, and have fun enjoying music. Per usual, this has been a lot of fun to go through. Great BAND-MAID music and learning great BAND-MAID music and covering great BAND-MAID music and getting to share all my thoughts, reactions, and opinions with you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Roll credits.